Oh dear.
Here we go.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to episode 5 of bdaCHAT, where we discuss digital insights and creative wisdom from around the world of marketing. Joining me this month, it's our avid follower of Rory Sutherland. It's our queen of social, Camilla Shukra.
Hello.
Jake and Humphreys, our dynamic web duo. Not a law firm. One of which of them has aroused a client this week by giving them goosebumps in at least 2 places on their body.
Oh.
And the other has had a birthday this week, of which BDA has been helping him celebrate the occasion by dunking his ginger nuts into some celebratory mugs of tea.
Thank you. Hello.
We've been working hard to bring a guest onto bdaCHAT, and this month we've struck gold. He's the captain of the BDA ship and guiding us and shaping us through the creative waves of the industry, always front and centre, with a bag of popcorn in hand. And sorry for those on YouTube, it's not Andrew Lincoln from The Walking Dead. No, it's our managing director, Mr. David Knowles.
Yay.
No pressure, anyone. No pressure.
Now, just a quick piece on housekeeping. Not wanting to be a pancake house, but it's been noted that we've been serving up a hefty amount of waffle in previous podcasts. So in an attempt to reduce the waffle in the house, the R&D team at BDA have come up with a genius solution. We call it the waffle buzzer. Now, unfortunately, David vetoed the waffle buzzer because it sounded comedic, and he thought it wasn't company appropriate.
Sorry.
So the BDA waffle buzzer that all of the R&D team invented, or 199, has not seen the light of day. So with waffle out of the way, let's move on to the news. Camilla, where can we start?
So, shares in Snapchat.
Shares in Snapchat.
They fell by a quarter this month. So they're posting huge losses. Their follower growth has been down, and it's probably from the likes of Instagram, so Facebook, who own Instagram. They're basically cloning a lot of their features within their own platform.
Mm-hmm.
So just watch this space, really. Just a quick one from me. That's it.
Oh, yes, normally there's one. There's
mic,
normally a mic tap, or mic drop from Camilla. Anybody else, Rob? What's going on in the world, in the land of web?
It's
Sorry,
not really
Rob.
Jarvis, thank you. It's not really the world of the web, but did anyone see the 2-hour marathon attempt to run a marathon in under the 2-hour mark?
Yeah.
Which marathon was this?
It was set up. It was on a I think Monza race circuit.
It was Monza, yeah.
Monza race circuit. But basically, it was more than a record attempt. It was basically Nike using a very clever marketing ploy to use 3 of their athletes that they sponsor to try and break this record. But they also used it to kind of launch a new product, so a new trainer. The new trainer was the Zoom Vaporfly Elite.
Nice.
And they claim that it actually...
That's a strong name.
It actually reduces the energy needed to run a marathon by 4%. So there was this whole messaging around it, and basically they live streamed it on Twitter, on social media, and they got some quite good results.
Did they do it? Did they run it? No,
not quite.
What?
The main guy, the guy who came closest, missed out by 25 seconds. He ran it in 2 minutes and 2 hours and 25 seconds.
Second a mile quicker.
Yeah.
He'd have done it.
Well, so these shoes made him a second a mile quicker.
No, they made
the
it
shoes
easier by
haven't.
4%.
It should be 4.5%.
But they were very clever. They did strategic water stops and everything. But basically, they did hashtag breaking2. You may have seen it on social media. It generated hundreds of thousands of views and engagements. And it's kind of just a clever way we might see sports brands moving forward to promote their products, but by actually making something of an event or what seems like a record attempt.
Oh, it's amazing.
That's really
to do that, to even get close to 2 hours is amazing.
What's the average?
Well,
completion time?
I don't know what the average is, but I know I did one recently. I did the London one. I get that in there.
Segway master.
But I did it in 3 hours and 55 minutes. So he was twice as fast as me.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing that anybody can run for
crazy.
26 miles.
That's about an average speed about 13 miles.
Something
an
like
hour,
that.
isn't it?
It's crazy. They're running 100 metres in 17 seconds, like over 400 times, whatever it is. It's like lots. It blows my mind that anybody can do it that fast.
Yeah, unbelievable.
You have to check that out. That sounds cool.
Buy some trainers.
Great marketing.
Yeah, very clever.
And I think Adidas, they want to do the same thing.
Oh, is that right?
Apparently, but they want to try and do it on a normal marathon circuit as opposed to it being, a very controlled environment like Monza, where they had mopeds bringing up water to the runners so they didn't slow down, and they had people who are pacers and things like that to help them keep their speed up throughout the duration of the race. So yeah, really, really clever, really good stuff.
Super duper.
Right, I'm going to bring on my monthly book review. No, I'm seriously. I am probably the slowest reader in the world, but I'm
Audible.
Well, it is Audible as well,
Oh, is it?
I believe, or you can get some book readers. But it's Paul Boag's new book, which is a smashing book called The User Experience Revolution, and it's about how you can get companies and colleagues to buy into user experience and sell it as a real sort of powerful tool to use within sort of the industry. Now, it teaches you sort of the benefits of that. It teaches you how to find sort of the sort of solutions you need within the organisation and all kinds of things. Now, I'm barely scratching the surface of it, but I'm getting to the point now that it's sort of about the benefits of selling the benefits of UX to B2B customers and B2B solutions, and how there's a lot of front against sort of UX in those sort of environments, and how actually it's those sort of companies that really need it. So it's really interesting, and I'm probably reading about a page a week at the minute.
I was going to say, have you read the book? Have you read it?
I'm so
Since
slow.
last month's podcast.
It's a page, and
A page a week?
it's about that. Yeah, I'm so slow. But I'm hoping sort of by the end of the year I would have finished reading it and I can tell you all about it.
Yay!
Good for you.
Another
Paul
10
Bauer got a
podcasts
written
to
new
go.
book by
Do a
then, won't he?
podcast because I started listening to that Star Wars Minute.
Yeah.
That's actually really good.
Yeah.
It's intense, isn't it, though, for a minute of the film over a 20-minute podcast?
Have you listened to it yet these days?
I've listened to parts of it, yeah.
It's,
Did you listen just to the first 2 minutes?
Yeah.
it's good. They go right in depth about one Star Wars minute. And in all fairness, they do a little bit about the minute, and the rest of it is just Star Wars guff. But
Yeah.
it's still fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. On to you, Dave.
So mine's less industry, more us. We proudly were received a Great Place to Work accreditation again this year. We were 19th out of the 20 that were shortlisted last year. This year we were 11th out of the 27th that were shortlisted in the small company category. So
That's
really
excellent.
chuffed
Yay.
about that.
Yay.
Really
Well done.
chuffed.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very cool.
It is. It's inspiring.
Mm.
We're talking about inspiration again today. When you look at some of the other you look at what we're doing, but then you look at what other companies and things are doing. There's a huge amount of inspiration you can grab from the other organisations that you rub shoulders with, who've achieved similar things. Be that the really large ones, the likes of McDonald's or Rackspace and so on, through to little companies like us, who are doing some great things with their employees.
Oh, yeah,
Fantastic.
Lovely.
yeah, I second that.
A big jump.
Podcast, not many companies putting a podcast out there, are there? Looking at you.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, with all the news wrapped up then, let's dig into what's inspiring us this past month. David, as guest on the show and as BDA's MD, I'm keen to hear what's inspiring you this month.
Well, I think just going on what I was talking about like companies and small companies and things like that. So I'm a bit of a reader as well. I tend to listen to books as I'm driving, but I also try and pick one up and try and get through one. I try and get through one a month, so I'm actually physically reading as well. So I'm reading Shoe Dog at the moment, so tying in a little bit with what Rob was talking about in the Breaking 2 thing just now. So Shoe Dog is written by the guy that started Nike all those years ago. And I think, talking about him or any of these massively successful entrepreneurs, the Elon Musks of the world, the Jeff Bezoses, the Steve Jobses, they are phenomenally inspiring people. They have a vision. They have a vision that often is told it will never happen, it will never work. Yet, despite all of that, they come through and they change the world. People like Elon Musk, that's what he wants to do. He wants to change the world. With the Tesla, having started with PayPal and the other companies that he began, he started Tesla and then SpaceX as well. He's overcome massive bankruptcy problems, issues throughout his businesses to actually become phenomenally successful and to have a mainstream vehicle in Tesla that people are buying. And now he's trying to
They're
create
popping up
supercharger.
everywhere as well. There's one in Milton Keynes that's popped up.
Supercharger networks all over the place. You know, he wants to try and get a car, so he's going to be releasing a Model 3 in the not too distant future, which will seat 5 people. And where he wants it to get to is that these cars can travel 500 miles on a charge, you know, which is massive distance.
Yeah, considering most cars,
Yeah.
electric cars travel about 100,
They're very
150
beautiful as
and
well.
Yeah.
things like that. Yeah, yeah.
So I think you can take, you know, from that, you know, this is obviously not about cars, but it's the inspirations.
Yeah.
These guys or girls that have had a vision, who can then inspire people to either invest in them or work for them on something which the press and probably their friends and family are saying is a lost cause. You know, that's phenomenally inspiring.
It's a massive risk for a lot of
Yeah.
these people. Even though Elon Musk has obviously created quite a hefty bank balance for himself in the past, but he did pile a lot of money into
Massive.
Tesla, and there was a huge risk to him financially and personally as a risk, and yet he's kept pushing forward with these ideas. And SpaceX now, they've just launched a satellite, haven't they? They actually used it properly to launch a satellite into the atmosphere.
You think the money that's ploughed into that, and then every time a rocket doesn't launch or it blows up or something goes wrong with it, you know, they're thinking they're making steps forward, and all of a sudden this happens, and it's taking big steps back, and people are then absolutely blasting them in the media, saying they're never going to do it, but they are.
Yeah.
And they're making cheaper rockets and things like that than anybody else is able to.
Yeah.
So, you know, that for me is what's inspiring me. It's people. It's these people out there who take these risks
Yeah.
and do something very different.
I think on the car front, I like the vision behind some of the companies who are making these cars, like Tesla, and they're saying that the experience of being in a car, the last thing it should be about is driving, and that's where the future's going. It should be a social area, an area where you can interact, where you can work, and it becomes the least thing is about driving, which I find very visionary.
Yeah.
And you know, we're talking serious futurist stuff here, but it's getting closer. We're getting there.
So some of the guys here, so Andy and Barry and James, had come back from the Adobe Summit, and they were saying BMW were there, and they were saying exactly that. It's just a mechanism to get you from A to B, a car. It's the experience when you're in it now, which is going to differentiate them. Because we all expect a car to get us to where we want to get to, don't we? We don't. You know, it's rare that they break down now. So, how can they make it different? How can they make an experience in something that, you know, you find pleasure or you gain pleasure from actually being in?
First time I saw one plugged in the other day.
What's that? A Tesla?
And no, BMW.
BMW.
It was outside Milton Keynes. Last night I was popped in town to buy a sleep anyway. As I was driving out, there was a BMW, and it was just like this blue, literally like a plug. It is a plug just plugged into it. And you just think, okay. And I saw a Tesla the other day drive past.
They're gorgeous,
They are
aren't they?
nice.
They've designed
But then
them beautifully.
I don't know how much they cost.
I don't know.
Until they can invent the little up Tesla.
Well, the series, the Model 3, they want to do it at, you know, about 35 grand or something like that.
$5,000.
You know, so it becomes much more, you know, it's still an expensive car,
Yeah.
but it's a
Yeah, but if
way
it
more
saves
achievable
you-
and mainstream,
yeah.
and if they get the financing right,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, if it saves you money in the long term in terms of fuel.
Honestly.
But then it always makes you wonder why the likes of Audi and Porsche and all those other, why they haven't. You know, I mean, BMW seem a little bit more at the cutting edge. The others seem, we like our gas guzzlers.
I think it's just because Tesla started from the ground up, they could develop their software and batteries and so on and so forth. Yeah, they've been able to be
They
more
want
agile.
to change the world rather
And
than
the other guys now will be going, oh, okay, let's develop that. Oh, hit the mic.
You know, and they've got lots of different computer systems which have to work with one another because they've got a different one for the GPS to the actual electronics that actually work. The car, you know, they've got to get all those to talk together because they're from different suppliers. Tesla's all one. It's all their software, their own operating system that they can update over the air. So, talking of inspiration, I just find it phenomenally inspiring.
Is that just from and that is all from that book?
Yeah.
What's the book called again? Sorry.
Just called Elon Musk.
Oh no, sorry, because the book at the beginning.
The
That's
shoe dog is
Nike.
is Nike.
Nike.
I'm
Oh,
only
sorry.
about 60, 70 pages into that, so he's just about got
right.
the name together and so we're understanding about that now. But you know, he's gone on to create a $30 billion company, a massively famous worldwide brand. When he started with selling Japanese shoes that he imported at like track events that he'd go to. You know, and so that to go from those very humble beginnings to these massive brands which are known throughout the world and worn by us all at some time or another is so inspiring. You know, and if you can take one little element of that and ingrain it into what you do.
I always remember Nike is the first brand that dropped their word mark and just went with the swoosh.
Just the swoosh,
which is instantly recognisable.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like they're all trying to, but you know it's a little more acceptable. That's fascinating.
Just quickly on the BMW brand, I have massive respect for them as a brand because literally they started off making helicopter engines. They're an aerospace company. The actual logo of BMW is the 3 quadrants of what you see when a propeller spins. But if you look at the way they've gone from those beginnings and where they are now leading the way in our driving experiences, it just shows they've always believed in constant innovation and evolution. I just think, you know, they're a great brand.
Isn't that their slogan, actually?
I don't know.
Drive. That's not sure.
Is that because
Driving
of quiz?
evolution.
Ultimate driving machine, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure they have
Something like that. I
They had
think.
I saw a marketing campaign was about evolution and the driving bit. But that's fascinating. Thank you, David. Who else has been inspired?
I think mine kind of leans on from David's sort of people of inspiration because I've looked at some of the sort of the, not to be derogatory, but the little guys that sort of I find inspiration at the minute.
Me.
And there's just a couple of things that, you know,
Hobbits.
the hobbits, dwarves, and all those kind of
5 foot
mystical creatures.
men in stilts.
But these the people I follow through social media. There's people that I follow just by nature of buying the products, and people I follow because I actually know them. And they're just a couple of or four people I've kind of singled out for people that I find really inspiring because they've gone against the grain of what is sort of the current situation, what you'd expect people wouldn't be doing right now. So the first guy is a guy called Jeff Sheldon. Now you may know him as the guy who set up UGMonk. He creates T-shirts and he creates accessories and things like that for home office and.
This online, is it?
Yeah, and this is online. Now he left school. He left college. He basically got married straight away to his childhood sweetheart, and he started a design agency. And within 2 years, he realised that in his spare time he'd been creating so many designs for T-shirts and sort of typography and books and things like that actually he's probably got enough traction to go solo. And so in the space of just I think about 6 years now, he's become sort of a micro brand in himself, sort of a global micro brand that stretches across 67 countries, I believe it is. And
That's awesome.
and the ethos behind him is all about sort of family, and everything's still niche. It's small. Everybody in his family works as part of the
So he's kept
the brand.
that, even
So
though he's
kept
got
that,
bigger.
Yeah, even though he's constantly getting busier and busier and busier. And he gives a lot of that back to charity. I think he uses a charity called where is it now? Rice Bowl, which went for sort of in poverty areas that they give meals to children, and so he's done sort of 50,000 meals to children that he's done, and that's only in a very, very short space of time for
So
somebody.
that's such a nice story.
Yeah.
And to get the charity element in there as well, it's a win-win.
His ethos
as a
is
brand,
really
yeah,
because I think it's come from such passion and inspiration to create all these
and people sense that,
ideas. Yeah.
so they buy into
So
it.
it's authentic and,
Yeah.
and everything that we always talk about.
What's
know,
his
in the
name?
years. Jeff Sheldon.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's check him out.
Another guy is a guy called Seb Rogers, who's
Yes, Seb.
you know, he's an editor. He's been editor on bike magazines for many, many, many years. And a couple of years ago, he released a magazine called Cranked, which is a mountain bike magazine, and it's a very, very, very beautiful mountain bike magazine. It costs £10. It comes out quarterly, but it's on paper. It's not online. It's perfect bound. It's uses really nice stock paper as well. And he released it at a time that 2 magazines crashed. There was a magazine called Privateer, which is a mountain bike magazine, and a magazine called Dirt as well, which had a long history, almost 20 years.
Well, it's quite bold to release a magazine.
Absolutely,
in this day and age
everyone
when
thought he was stupid. Everyone
they're
thought that
dying off
it was
if-
going to fail.
to make it more expensive than the average.
Exactly, but you look through this magazine, and we'll put a link to these magazines and things like this at the end of the podcast. But you'll find there's very little advertising in there as well. It's done through readership and purchase of the magazine rather than advertising.
Nice.
And when you pick up the magazine, you feel like you're part of a lifestyle, you're part of a culture rather than you're just being sold adverts. all the
How do you
time.
get that off the ground, though?
I think it was a
lot of
hard
money.
task, and there was probably a lot of faith in him, and I think it's a big risk to take.
Must have
especially
some
at the time.
investment.
Yeah.
To get it going, and then
A lot.
you have to have something go bang to get that
There
out.
was
do you?
I don't
Yeah,
know if
you've
anyone
obviously
saw
got a lot of
it.
followers.
Sorry to go off kilter very quickly. The guy who Hugh Hefner, they had a documentary on Netflix, I think it was.
It's Amazon
Um,
Prime. It's a
Amazon
Prime exclusive.
Yeah, and they had him
Oh,
and
right.
how he got his investment set up, Playboy magazine, and it was literally he was begging and stealing to get, and it was a lot of money even then. What we're talking about, 60s when he launched Playboy magazine, and it follows his story of how he got investment, how he got started, how he developed a magazine with what people wanted to hear about, and a few
That's it. Bit
naked
risky,
women in it.
wasn't it? It was
Yeah.
different.
But
It
he
was
got on
different
his
because
first
their
shot.
style was the only other one out there at the time.
Yeah, and on
Right.
his first front cover, he managed to get a picture of Marilyn Monroe, which then just launched him.
Yeah.
It was done because everyone wanted to see her naked.
Right.
And it was brilliant.
And it was called Stag Party.
It was
Yeah,
called
before
Stag
Playboy,
Party.
wasn't it?
What a name!
Yeah.
Was it really?
Stag Party. Sorry, Rob.
Sounds like
No,
a
no,
film.
that's really interesting. I didn't know that, so
No.
that's really cool. And I just would cover other people that I follow. There's a woman called Caroline Rowland who brought out 91 magazine. Again, similar to Seb Rogers, she couldn't find the inspiration she wanted for a home magazine, so she thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to create my own. And that's what she did, and she's on issue 7 or 8 now, and it's gaining a lot of traction, and it's like
wow.
a inspiration magazine for her like-minded followers, and it's a lovely magazine again to pick up. Again, I think it's about £7 or £8. It's sort of top end of
Quite
the magazine
expensive, I
prices,
think, yeah.
but it's people. There's need for these type of things. People
Mhm.
are actually buying these type of things, so there's a lot of space for it. And sort of finally, there's a guy who's a really good friend of mine who's set up his own sort of standing desk company. He worked in the design industry, and he had enough of the design industry. And one thing he's been an advocate of is standing up and working while standing up because it's good for the health. But also comes from a furniture making background, and he thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make some standing desks. So that's what he's done. And in sort of the last sort of few months since Christmas, he's been putting prototypes together. And he's sort of launched his product in his website recently, he's starting to get some traction from that. So it'll be
We
interesting
should
to
get
see
some
what
at BDA.
Yeah, it's helm.co is the website.
Looking
And
at
How
that.
much are you being paid?
no, but
Just a plug.
it's a really good, it's a really nice idea, and it's a time again where there's a lot of risk around that sort of thing, but also there's a lot of people in those sort of situations are actually getting switched on about the health of working and working healthily and standing desks and stuff are one of those things. So, and it is a kind of a sort of an unknown time with elections and Brexits and all this kind of stuff happening, and yet you still see people taking those risks to do something. And I think all these guys, and there's many other guys out there that we all follow that are still taking those risks.
It's all back to basics stuff.
Yeah.
All the people that you've mentioned, it's like literally back to basics.
Yeah,
Not
massively
tech, not
inspiring
kind
for
of.
us.
It's quite nice. It's quite refreshing.
Well, it's always hard to get something off the ground. You're always going to get some negativity. aren't
Well, of
you?
course. I mean, I think as
You've got
you've
to
said
stay
before-
true to what you believe in and just keep plugging on.
And I know there's a quote I said before we started.
Yeah, go on.
Go on.
At first, people may laugh, but then they will follow.
And who was that who said it?
I said Albert Einstein, but I might have to check my facts. I think I just said that. I think I was trying to add kudos to it.
I think it was Yoda.
Yeah, it was someone though really, really important. I
What's
haven't
been,
just made it up.
what's been inspiring you this month, Rob?
It's just a real quick one from me, and it's basically some work we're doing at BDA. We're doing a lot of work with a waste and environmental company. It doesn't sound very glamorous, I know, but some really, truly inspirational work going on with them. And this is a result of them putting kind of a bit of trust in us and working with us to allow us to guide them down a very different route for them in the industry. We've looked at the competitors, and they're all very similar. Doing the same things, no one's being daring. So they've allowed us to really kind of break the mould, challenge the status quo, and do things very differently for them, which is really exciting. And it kind of culminated yesterday in doing a sneak preview of the first cut of a video that Lee, you've been involved with, and we played this 50-second video and
21 times.
21 times.
You watched it 21 times.
But after the first time, the reaction was, wow, goosebumps. And that's what you want from your viewers of a video, or when you show someone something for the first time. We watched it 21 times, and he goes, "That's evoked emotion, and that's kind of inspired me." He goes, "I can't wait to share it." And
That's good.
And do you know what?
We're doing that on Monday.
Yeah, and it's because we've as a team working with the client, we've all been brave, and we've made some brave calls.
I think that it's even more sort of paramount when you look at the subject matter, because there's a lot of times, and I think there's a lot of people certainly in the creative industry that find it difficult to get aligned with the product that they're trying to be creative with. And you'd think you look at sort of this product and it's sort of waste management. You think, well, what can inspire us?
Yeah.
What can we do with waste management that's different? It's not the most glamorous of products, and yet you can be very creative with any sort of medium, any sort of product.
I just think the power of video is phenomenal.
Yeah.
We've all watched stuff on YouTube or Vimeo or just on normal terrestrial TV, which is just completely has brought those goosebumps up, has made you think differently.
Yeah.
People like Kid President.
Who's
Yeah.
Kid President?
Oh, the child.
Yeah.
He's done some great little
Yeah.
videos. Soul Pancake, I think, is the channel, I believe.
Yeah, Soul Pancake's great on YouTube. Check it out.
Really good. Really inspiring stuff. I've used one here, Inches. The Al Pacino speech from Any Given Sunday.
Oh, yes.
Because we use Inches as part of our personal development plans. And that in its own way is inspiring in so much as every little inch you gain is an inch towards a bigger goal.
Yeah.
And that then becomes inspiring when you add all of those together to create, hopefully, a complete change in something.
Yeah.
So I think Lee is the biggest advocate, the biggest lover of the thing in the world, and which is amazing. And some of the things that you've shown us, Lee, has
Star Wars.
the Star Wars, absolutely.
Big fan of Star Wars.
I know we've talked about the Breathless one from Philips before. These life-changing stories that not only can an individual tell, but even a business can tell as well.
I think, when do our Digital Day videos go? I know I need to amend mine, but once
Where
they
are
go
they?
live, people, if you want to go and see some more emotive videos, we did a Digital Day talk. And within that video or talk presentation, there are some videos that are worth checking out, like the Breathless Choir.
Absolutely.
Just different ways
Barbie
of
one as
using
well.
emotion to advertise rather than just hard sales and money facts and figures and stuff like that. But I think video, you got the visual aspect and you got the audio aspect, and I think you when you bring those two together, it's just gold. And my inspiration bit will be the opening scenes from La La Land. You cannot beat them. You've got that song, Another Day of Sun, and you've just got people dancing around in the street. It's great. It'll bring a smile to
I love
everyone's
it.
face.
Didn't some guy copy that?
Yeah, that was last week's podcast.
Last month, you talked about Jake and
Deja vu
Sean.
moment.
Jake's
sure
surname you
that's
can't pronounce.
She said his surname.
Or Jacob, I think he asked Emma Stone's prom. Well, I think everyone's inspired. Well done.
I don't know if Camilla is yet.
You just missed me off.
Oh, sorry.
I thought I was going to get away with it then.
You did, I was,
Lee
sorry.
Williams.
Sorry,
What could you
Camilla.
forget?
I just
Okay.
completely know.
Well, it's actually a little
Forgot.
bit different, actually, because I'm going to be really honest. I've had a real block this month. I don't feel like anything has really inspired me.
Did you not go to the Adobe Summit?
No,
That was inspiring.
I'm sure it was.
Some of
I've
the
heard it's
video back from
incredible.
that.
But nothing. And, I even Googled, how to find inspiration, what to do if you get an inspiration block. They're like, watch TED Talks, read some blogs, look on social media, look at, hashtag inspiration, just get some kind of little seed of something. And I've just had that kind of month where you just look down and your eyes aren't open to some of the things around you, which I'm sure, I thought I'd talk about it because I'm sure other people, especially in creative industries, have done it. And then the more you push for inspiration and the more you try and find it, the more stressed you get about it, the less likely it's going to happen. So you end up in this perpetual circle of trying to be inspired, and it just doesn't work.
So how do people in this room then
I was
go
going to
about
ask, what do you
inspiration? Obviously, we're a creative company, and we rely on inspiration to come up with what we do. So what do you guys do?
For me, I tend not to try and think about it.
Yeah.
I think that is the key. I think if you do start trying to push something too hard, you end up just clouding your judgment and your mind even more with everything. For me, when I'm trying to be inspired by something, I try and probably look in the places that I wouldn't normally go to. I think try perhaps if I'm looking for a website, well maybe I'll look in video or look in print or look in something that's completely away from it and think, well, that's quite a nice idea.
Well, look at people that you wouldn't expect to inspire you.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be your
think-
kids or be...
Do you think that, because normally I'm really relaxed when I'm inspired by something and it just comes and you think, oh, that's great, or that person's great, or God, that was a great podcast or a great TED Talk, And I think maybe I haven't been relaxed this month, and that's why I just you just shut down from.
Well, there's always
stuff.
There's that toothbrush moment, isn't there? I think Lee,
What's
you said
the
this.
toothbrush moment?
Well, the time when you're trying to be creative and you're trying to force an idea and it doesn't happen, and then you'll be brushing your teeth one day, and because that's the point where you switch off,
Yeah,
and then you go ping, and it sort of comes to your mind. And I tend to get those more often than I probably think about it. So those times when you go out running or something like that, and you are thinking about something else, and all of a sudden it all starts locking.
It doesn't need to be an actual thing, though.
No.
For me, it's like you might come up with an idea. It's just a mindset for me. You don't have to be inspired by something. You just want to be able to accept inspiration and just feel positive in a way that you can come to work or you can go to anything that you're going to do, and you're just going to attack it. You're just going to say, like if I do like Max 30, like this Sean, I know I go on about Sean T and Max 30, but every day, you know, when you do one, you're like, oh God, I don't want to do this. This is going to hurt. But when I get to the end of it, I'm like, yay,
that was great.
I've done it. And it inspires you to do it again. And you know, like today is Friday, so it's going to be Friday Fight, and Friday Fight is really hard. But you just got to go through it. And it's like if I'm learning something in Taekwondo, like this is the girls there's guys and girls that do Taekwondo in my class that I do, but it's like some of them are like really young and they know these moves, and I'm like copying them. I'm thinking, how am I ever going to learn a 21 move? I can't 21 moves. We go left, right, and forward, back, forward, punch, whatever it is. And the more that you do it, the more you watch them, think, wow, you've actually just applied yourself to learn this. And I find that inspiring that someone can, you know, even at that young age, and then you get them into when they have to be graded, you think, wow, there's all these kids just standing there and it's only until you put yourself in those shoes you realise, wow, this is actually quite a monumental effort. Yeah. So for me, it's those little things. Or even music. I find music inspiring. I think once you start opening yourself up, just like.
Do you think that? Because I go through periods when I will find lots of things inspiring, like a week or something when I'll see so much stuff, and I'll have to remember that, I have to jot that down, I have to do. And then like the last 2 weeks have been like, flatline, like nothing at all. So it must be just your mindset.
I find the only trouble is there's a danger in that the more you get inspired, the more you have to accept sort of, it's not failure, but a little bit of disappointment. In that there's only so much you can do. There's only like, I look at all this stuff that Adobe Summit have done, and I'm like, oh my God, from a video point of view, that's absolutely amazing. I wish I could do all that. But I could
Does
strive
that make you feel
to.
a bit low afterwards? You're like,
I
can't though.
How the hell do we get there? How do you get there?
Or some of the filming that we've recently done at BDO, all the cameras and the lenses and the Ursas and the Black Magics and all the different things that come together to make these cool videos that are coming up at BDO. But whenever you know, to bring all that together and to see how, you know, the learning and the craft that goes into that, you feel so behind, but you're learning and you're continually pushing yourself. Yeah, so it's that I feel it as an ebb and flow thing where, you know, you're living for that eureka moment of inspiration, but you know you've got to go through those troughs of Monday mornings. You've got to go through those to get to another day of sun.
But isn't that what inspiration's about as well?
Is that peak? Is that
to be the best? That's how I look at it. I don't want to look at just other companies of the same ilk as us. I want to look at what the best are doing, the best of the best. Whether that's in agency world or whether that's in other industries, I think there is so much that you can gain and learn from other people in totally different, unrelated fields that can help drive you and move you on. I've watched stuff from people like bdaCHAT at a conference that I've been to in the past, and some of the ways that their production, their workflows and so on and so forth, that when you try and relate it to what we do are completely unrelated. But actually, you can take little nuggets of what they do and say, well, we could do that, or we could do that. Yeah. You look at companies like Valve. So Valve are a computer game company developer, creator. I read their company handbook, and there is so much that you could take from that, and that we have actually taken from that as part of how we work now as a company. And you could say, well, why do I want to read a company handbook from another company? Well, because you can learn so much from other people, and it's inspiring. You know, reading, get out there, read, listen to stuff.
I'm going to listen to an audiobook this month.
Do it. Honestly, that dead time in the car can be truly valuable if you use it for learning and stuff.
Might as well. Joe Nesbo. It's not really inspiring, but it's serial killer, evilness. It's got a vampire melt teeth. It's the latest Joe Nesbo. It's really good. But as for, my wife found out is reading a book about how to change your brain. I can't remember that she was telling me about this morning. It's basically there's ways that you can change your brain and how you can get, because I think it's your right brain, that's it, your left brain is logic, your right side of your brain is emotive. And when it's about how to, not influence kids, but how to help kids, because apparently my wife's a teacher and she gets very worried that kids our generation, or not our generation, but the youth generation spends far too much time in front of screens and they're not interacting anymore. So there's a way of now trying to help children deal with their emotional side of their brain and their logical side of their brain. So when children get into a paddy and they just will not talk, they just get into a paddy, that's their logical side of their brain. This is their emotion. I can't remember now. I'll have to, next month I'll find out the title of the book, because I'm going to download it and read it, or listen to it. But it sounds about reworking the brain, but it sounds
like the Chimp Paradox.
I was going to say the Chimp Paradox, which is supposed to be a great book.
Yeah.
You've read that, though.
Yeah.
We should start BDA Book Club. BDA Book Club. David's Book Club. We should do that.
We could do that.
We could always have another podcast. We'd have two.
Oh yeah.
Why not?
bdaCHAT, BDA Book,
Absolutely.
BDA Zelda. Nice.
Absolutely.
Everyone's inspired. I feel enlightened, inspired, delighted.
I
Lovely
feel a
stuff.
bit more inspired from being uninspired. I feel like
Next
you guys
month,
have given
next
me a little
month.
bit of inspiration.
Next month, we're going to come back with something inspiring.
Yes, the pressure.
Oh, no, there's no pressure.
Okay, good.
We're talking of pressure. The BDA quiz.
Yes.
Even scores.
Okay, everyone's on even points. David, the newcomer, he's on. Your
0
points are going to
at
carry
the
on.
moment. Okay.
Yeah,
I think you're liking it, David. I think you could become a regular member. I think you're fitting right in.
Thank you.
So everyone's on 2. So if for those that haven't heard of the BDA quiz, it's the BDA slogan and name game. We should probably get a name change as we run out of slogans, because we don't know where. So right now it's the BDA slogan name game. So question 1. So obviously 4 multiple choice answers. Pick which one you like. No buzzers. Okay, so we sell more cars than Ford, Chrysler, Chevrolet, and Buick combined. Was it A, Lego, B, Matchbox, C, Skoda, or D, Audi?
Say the first 2 again.
So we sell more cars than, this is why we had that background music. Ding, 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 ding. We sell more cars than Ford, Chrysler, Chevrolet, and Buick combined. Was it A, Lego, B, Matchbox, C, Skoda, or D, Audi?
I'm going with A.
Matchbox.
I'm going for Matchbox.
I'm going for B.
Yeah.
So we got B. Everyone going for B, Matchbox.
I'm going for Lego.
You're going for Lego.
Stupidly.
Ooh, Lego was the tyres one.
Tyres one.
Lego was we sell more tyres than yeah. It was actually B, Matchbox.
Yes.
Oh.
Don't give me that sympathetic look. I'm going to scope it back.
Oh. Okay, question 2. When there is no tomorrow, was it A, FedEx? Was it B, UPS? Was it C, Levi's? Or was it D, Vodafone? So, when there is no tomorrow, was it A, FedEx, B, UPS, A, FedEx, B, UPS, C, Levi's, or D, Vodafone? I don't know why I did the ABCD, because when you tell me I never go both ways.
I'm going to go for B.
I think it's A.
I think A.
A.
I'm going to go B.
So B, UPS. So you split down the middle of the delivery.
Yeah.
I bet it's Levi's.
It's A.
Yes!
Wow.
That
FedEx.
was really good.
We have a clear leader.
Wow, big laugh.
Question 3. Make the most of now. Was it A, Vodafone, B, Kodak, C, Visa, or D, Sony? Make the most of now. B, A, Vodafone, B, Kodak, C, Visa, D, Sony.
I'm going to say Visa.
Visa,
I'm going to say B.
Kodak.
I'm going to say
No,
Vodafone.
not Kodak. Yeah, Kodak.
I'm going to go for Sony.
So we've got Sony. Oh, it's right on me now. We've got Sony.
Everyone's got to pick one.
Everyone's picked a different one.
Oh, we
So who is it, Lee?
So who picked Sony?
Me.
You're wrong. Who
Oh.
picked Visa?
Me.
You're wrong.
Oh.
Who picked Kodak?
Me.
You're wrong.
Oh.
Is that A, Vodafone? Question 4.
The adverts on TV at the moment, it's really annoying.
Who's keeping score? Is it?
Yeah.
We'll have to work it out. We'll work it out.
I
I
think,
think, to be fair, I think you two are tied.
We're level.
You're level and you're...
No, I'm no, I'm level now.
I don't know if...
Let's hit the mic.
question 4. Be stupid. Was it A? I can never say this, but Clairol. Was it B?
Sorry, who?
Clairol. You know the.
What's Clairol?
Clairol. Is it Clairol? Clairol.
No.
Okay, don't worry.
You know the. It's the. Anyway.
Oh yeah, it's hair stuff.
Yeah, hair stuff. Clairol. B. Electronic Arts. C. Hallmark. Or D. Diesel.
Be stupid.
I go Diesel.
Diesel, I think.
Why are you smiling?
I just can't help smiling.
Quick.
Say it again.
A. Clairol. B. Electronic Arts. C. Hallmark. Or D. Diesel.
I'm going to play it tactical. I'm going to go for D. So I'm still level at the end of this.
I'm really scared because I want to go for something else, but Lee's
You could
got
snatch-
crazy
you could-
eyes.
You could snatch a grab. You could snatch a grab.
I'm going to go C.
You might not snatch
I'm
a
going to
grab.
go C.
Hallmark.
Oh, this could be awful. Oh no. Oh no.
If you'd gone for C, you'd be wrong. If you'd gone for A, you'd be wrong.
It's B, isn't it?
But if you'd gone for the stuff you put in your car, you'd be right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Diesel.
Oh.
So, in terms of, I think,
Five
I think
apiece.
you guys are in the lead on 5 apiece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That's right.
David, I think you've got 3,
Got
2.
two.
Come in on
4. We might have to play back
We
and
might have to
listen.
play back and review
Yeah.
where we are with that one. So that's it for another month of bdaCHAT. Thank you very much. If anybody wants to get in touch, you can reach us at our social channels at ThinkBDA on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Anybody want to add anything?
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
David, thank you for joining us. We look forward to our next guest. It could hopefully be David. How has it
Well,
been?
Yeah,
Had fun?
do you like it?
I've enjoyed it, yeah.
Yay! Anyway, look forward to seeing you next month, guys. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.